Hello friends, and welcome to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I'm going to be working on my day 5 story, or story number 5, in my December daily album for 2020. Today's story is all about a hot cocoa or hot chocolate bar that Mary, our elf on the shelf, brought for us to have for breakfast this morning. So I have a couple of pictures that I'm working with here. This one is a picture of the 3 hot chocolates, so mine, Isabella's, and Jonah's. And then I also have this smaller picture, which is a picture of Mary with all of the stuff that she brought us for this particular activity. Now, this video and these pictures are the very first things that I have ever done with my new iPhone. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I have been using an iPhone 7 that I've had for the last, I think, 3 years. And I just upgraded to an iPhone 12 Pro. So I am super excited for hopefully the clearer videos and the more enhanced photos that I'm going to get out of this particular camera. So far, I am super happy with it. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on my feelings about the 12 Pro as I get a little bit more used to it. So that aside, let's focus on what we have here. So I've got the 2 photos. I already have my journaling printed on this 3x8 journaling card. This was from the 3x8 set. It was cards and transparencies from Ali Edwards' December 2020 release. This I will read you guys at the end, and I have a few ideas of things I want to do with this. But if you don't know how to print on your physical cards, I will also put a link up at the eye, so at the top right-hand corner of the video here, a link to a video where I show you how to do this both in Photoshop and in Microsoft Word. So just in case you would like to know how to do something like that. It's my favorite way of adding journaling because I can get a lot more words in a smaller space than I can if I handwrite. I've also got this little card. There's a journaling spot on the back and this like decorative piece that just says joyful. I love the joyful because my theme here is this black and white and red with the craft color brown thrown in there. So this I am planning to put on the back side of my photo, and then the photo itself, the big one, will go behind these doors. Now, this part right here, this left-hand side of my spread and the right-hand side of my spread are both foundation pages that I created back in November. And both of them are based off of Allie's product play class, off of the projects that she herself made. So this right here is the Tim Holtz texture paste that I just used on here. She called it making them like frosting cookies. So I did that. And then I took one of the 3-inch transparency circles that had a tree on it, stuck it into the wet texture paste and let it dry for about 24 hours. I actually didn't quite let it dry long enough before I put it in my book, and it did warp the page right next to it, but you can't really notice unless I point it out to you. So now you'll notice, but otherwise you really wouldn't. Then I've got this wood veneer piece down at the bottom that's from Colorcast Designs. It just says believe in the magic. And I put one of the wood veneer stars on top of the tree. And it's a white on white, so you can't see it that well, but I do love the texture that all brings. This plaid paper right here, and on the opposite side is this black and white star pattern. These both came from the Kelly Purkey black and white Christmas set. So this was one of the 12x12 papers that you could cut apart into some different size papers. So that is going to be the left side, and I'm really not going to do anything else to this. I just need to adhere it to the page that it goes next to in my album. This page right here, I have a transparency that was from Ali. So this is the red and white star transparency. Then I had this Red Cup Love acrylic piece that I purchased from Colorcast Designs. That was from this year's release. These have little holes in them. Right now I don't have them attached to each other, but these are windows that are going to open up to reveal a photo behind it. So this is where this larger photo is going to go. I will trim a little bit off and hole punch this, but then these are going to go on top of the photo itself. And then I've got a couple of options for 5s that I can put on this page. One that's a little bit more transparent and one that is a wood veneer. So yes, this was an idea that Ali Allie had proposed in her class, in her product play class. I really liked the concept, and so I wanted to do something like that for myself. Plus, it's a really great way to add some decoration to a full page photo. I did use washi to put mine on here. And it doesn't stick down very well to the opposite side. So I'm probably going to add some glue or something to make sure that this sticks better on here, because I do love the way that it looks on this side of the page. So we're just going to experiment with that and see what we can come up with. So what I'm going to do is put you guys on fast forward. This one's probably going to come together fairly quickly since most of the work was already done prior to starting. And then once I get everything done and in the album, we will slow back down and read the journaling for this story. So let's go ahead and get started. So while I'm thinking about the washi tape not being super secure right here at the beginning, I am just going to go ahead and take care of that first. So what I did to take care of it is to just peel back the washi tape version or washi tape portion on the back of that cardstock, add a little bit of liquid adhesive. That's just Tombow Mono multi-matte liquid adhesive, and then to put the washi tape back on top of it, and that's just going to hold it down much more secure than it was before. Then we will move on to adding the photo to the back window portion. My desk surface there, my 12 by 12 cutting self-healing mat, I guess is what that's called, was super dirty. So I did grab over some baby wipes and just go to town on it to get it nice and clean so that I don't ruin any of these photos, especially because, you know, they're large photos and they're really good photos, and I just didn't want them to get dirty and gross. So I cleaned that off, then added my my roller adhesive to the back of the picture, stuck it down on the back side of the window portion, and then trimmed off the excess that was hanging off the edge. Then I noticed that the red and white stripe washi was having trouble sticking at the top there. So I did the same thing, peeled it off, added some liquid adhesive, and then stuck it back down. And I feel a lot better about it's staying secure and on there long term. Then I am going to grab my 6-hole punch here. This is a punch that I got from Amazon. It's the same one that Allie Edwards recommends. And I typically put the link to this down in my description. So if you're looking for a 6-hole punch, you can find a link to that product down below. I line that up, punch those holes, and then we're going to add the second window on there just so we can see how everything looks. Looks super good. And then we can add our number. So I have these 2 numbers pulled out. One of them, this one right here, is kind of a more opaque acetate, and the other one was wood veneer. So the wood veneer came from Color Cast Designs. This one actually came from an old Week in the Life kit. I want to say it was from 2019, and it was like the punched out portion from these tags that came in the kit. So I held on to those, and I've actually used a couple of them this year because I really like the scale of them, and I like how they are transparency, but they are super opaque, so you can see them pretty clearly on a photo like that. So that is the one we went with, and I just attached it with 2 staples from my tiny attacher. Then I grabbed over this 3x4 card. The joyful is the side that I want to be showing, and so then I just added my roller adhesive to the back of the card and stuck that down to the photo of our elf and the hot cocoa bar from this morning. So now I am thinking about what I want to do with this 3x8 journaling card, and I'm thinking I want to turn it into some kind of tag shape. So I'm pulling out some different ribbons and twines that I have in my stash and just deciding which ones I like. I like that it's a roll of like multiple types of ribbons that are all red and white. And then I also have a red velvet ribbon that's from Tim Holtz, and then one that just says like love, joy, all that kind of stuff. It's in black and white. That I had recently gotten in the mail from a friend. So before I decide on what to do there, I figure I'll put this whole thing in the album so we can see what it looks like. But in order to do that, I also need to adhere the 2 sides together. So this one with the star page from yesterday. So on the back side, you can kind of see where that star page was a little bit warped. But I think, you know, once we get everything adhered down, it's really hard to tell on the side where, you know, where the stars are. and it gives it a little bit more stability too once the two pieces are put together. So again, I'm just going to trim off any excess, anything that's hanging off the edge, so that it's nice and cleaned up here. And then I will pull over the album so we can put everything into it. For these, since both sides were hole punched, that was what I used to gauge where to adhere them together, just because I need them to go back in the album nicely and I don't want to punch any additional holes. So that is how I measured those up together. So now we'll go ahead and add these back into the album. This is where I'm going to figure out that the holes on my windows, I used the smallest hole on my crocodile, and it's very difficult to get the ribbon or the twines in and out of those holes. So I decided to pull my crocodile back over and make the holes a little bit bigger so that it's easier to put the twine through them. I don't want this to be too obnoxious to work with when we're flipping through it in the years to come. So it made a lot more sense to make the holes bigger. So I'm going to do that for both sides, even though it will more than likely be coming in and out of the left-hand side just because that's where the title is. But just in case, I'm going to make the same size on both sides. Then we will get the twine back in both of the holes and pull it together and tie that door shut. I really like the way that this looks, that this turns out, and I'm glad that I chose this red and white star pattern because I think it looks really cute with the cups behind it, which is what it's what I figured that this would look like once I had a photo in there, because I knew I wanted some kind of cup, drink photo. All right, so here is where I make the mistake for the day, because there can't be a page when you're scrapbooking without a mistake. So I had thought like, oh, I want to make this 3x8 journaling card into a tag shape so I can add that ribbon at the top. So I clipped off the corner and then flipped the corner over to match the shape on the opposite side, and realized I cut off part of my journaling. So I had a moment of like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I did this, and then quickly found a solution to make this better. So I just went ahead, cut off the two sides. I actually cut them at an angle that is greater than what I would have liked. I don't necessarily like the top of that right now, but I will fix it to make it look better by the end of this. It's just too drastic. It's like, it's too pointy up at the top, and I don't like that. I should have made my corners a lot smaller. So then I found some ribbon that I liked, and then I also had this like tiny red and white pom-pom trim that I thought looked really cute on the edge of the photo there as well. So here's what I did. I went back to my computer. I moved a lot of the journaling down and then reprinted it on a piece of white cardstock. So then I could just go ahead and add adhesive to the back of my tag here and stick that down onto the new journaling and cut off the top, so that now when I turn it over, the journaling is not obstructed. Like we didn't do any damage to the journaling. Then I can also take this to my trimmer and trim off a portion of the top in order to make it look a little less drastic there at the top. And I think that looks a lot better. So, everything that we do, whenever we make mistakes, there are things that we can do to fix them. So it's not the end of the world. And I really tried to just go with it and figure out how I could make it happen without having to redo the whole thing or, throw anything in the garbage. So that is that. Now, I had originally thought that what I would do on the back of this craft pocket was to put a photo there, a 3x8 photo, but in all honesty, I totally forgot about it and didn't print a photo. And by the time I was doing this page, number one, I didn't really have the time and nor the desire. Like I didn't have any other pictures that I super loved that I wanted to put there. So I decided to just leave it blank, and later we'll add some embellishments to it. Now, before I did that, I decided that I wanted to grab that pom-pom trim back out, and I am in fact going to add a little strip of it to the side of my page. This works out perfectly because this page protector and not page protector, this transparency and the photo are slightly shorter than most of the pages that I make in my book. So adding that little bit of trim allowed me to fill in the extra space. So now when we get to the story for tomorrow, I won't have to trim down tomorrow's page. It all fills in and it all still looks good. I originally thought I might put some extra washi down on the back side of the page that I'm working on tomorrow in order to fill in the space, but this worked out even better, and I think it adds a really cute texture to the page as well. So now you can see it in there. It looks super cute. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and embellish the craft tag, or the back of the craft tag. I have this rubber piece that says Merry Everything from last year's December Daily Kit, and then I also have this little die cut piece that is a cup of hot cocoa, which I thought was perfect. That came from the the Paper Person black and white collection from this year. So I adjusted the cocoa cup so it can be underneath the not underneath, it can be, well, underneath but on top of the Merry Everything arrow, pointing towards all of those Merry cups of hot cocoa. And then I grabbed over my black and white tiny phrase stickers from this year's kit, and I added 3 underneath the arrow. I believe they say something like warm, comfy moments or something like that. I'm pretty sure, or no, warm peppermint moments, I think is what I chose, because we did some kind of like pepperminty hot chocolate drinks this morning. That's what we had for breakfast. So I'm just going to get the 3 of these tiny phrase stickers stuck down on this cardstock piece or on this craft piece, and then that pretty much is going to finish up the page for today. And I love the way that it came together. So I am just going to let you guys watch this for a second here, and then we will slow back down. All right, that finishes today's spread. Love, love, love how this all looks. I'm a big fan of that red and white and black. I just think it's bold and it pops out at you and it just feels like Christmas. So we got all of it done. I had originally thought I was going to print a picture to put on the back of this, and then totally forgot when I was printing pictures and didn't feel like going and getting another one. So that is why I just ended up embellishing the back of this instead, pointing over to the photo here on the right. This photo is so cute, and I did need to get those, to make those holes bigger so that it's easier to put the string back in after you open up those windows. That the smallest hole was just too small, and it's still like a little finicky, I will say, but it works better with the bigger holes. So if this is a page that you are making, I definitely recommend not punching it with the smallest hole. All right, so all that we have left to do is to go ahead and read today's journaling. So the lens that I used for today was finding joy. So I wanted to tell a story about finding joy in the day. So here is what I wrote. Okay, in a year that has provided devastation around every corner, joy seems like it should be the last thing we are finding right now. And yet, it shows up in the smallest and largest of ways, time after time. Today, the kids woke up bright and early, much earlier than I was prepared to wake up. They ran into our room and climbed into bed with us. Soon afterward, the cats both jumped in too. We snuggled everyone in and felt the joy of being one big, happy, sleepy family, bundled under the warm covers together. It wasn't long before the kids remembered that they were hungry and had to go potty and wanted to play and wanted to find Mary to see what she brought to our home during the night. So I begrudgingly got out of bed, letting Aaron sleep in, which I'm sure had him feeling joyful for the sleep, not for the hangover from board gaming late into the night, and went downstairs to help the kids find Mary. I heard squeals of delight as I entered the kitchen. Jumping up and down, Isabella was pointing excitedly at the hot chocolate bar that Mary had set up for us. Her message for the day said it all. Hot cocoa is breakfast food, right? So, it was the yummiest hot cocos in our cute Christmas kitty cups for breakfast, which we sipped down with sighs of delight and the biggest of whipped cream smiles. We followed that up with watching the Mickey Mouse Once Upon a Christmas movies for the 100th time, and a full belly nap on the couch for me with the kids snuggled in close yet again. Yes, this year has been hard and sad and frustrating and devastating in so many ways. Yes, sometimes it is hard to find those silver linings or to get out of the funky state of mind that goes with it all. But when we really look around us at all the little moments of happiness, the times when our family is close and connected, the times when we get to take a moment's rest to nap on the couch, the times when we can sip on a mug full of fancy hot chocolate and listen to the laughter of those we love, we can remember that life is full of joy all around us. It will always come to find us time after time. I really loved this particular lens, this Finding Joy lens. I think that it helped me because I set these up before the month of December even begins. And then in the morning, when I am getting ready for the day or for the event or whatever it is that I am documenting for that day, I review, what is my lens for today? So today when I woke up, I reviewed, Finding Joy. So then as I went through this morning and through the hot cocoa bar and napping with the kids and all of that, I constantly had in my mind, like, what are the small moments in the day that are bringing me joy? And it just helped me to tell a more full, well-rounded story about our morning today. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this process video and the story to go along with it. I would love for you guys to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss any of the other videos coming out this month and beyond that. If you are a fan of Christmassy drinks, tell me what your favorite one is in the comments below. And if you have a recipe for it, let me know that too. I'm always looking for delicious, Christmassy, warm drinks to have during this season. So I'd love to know what your family enjoys the best. I will be back again tomorrow with my next day in this album, day 6, which is going to be all about a Hallmark movie marathon that we are doing tonight with our friends and family. So I am very excited for that. So until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video. Bye now.